Ever thought of a simple "until we meet again" as a potential doorway to the unseen spiritual realm, possibly even to the demonic? This phrase, a common parting wish often murmured amidst tears and grief for our departed loved ones, carries more weight than you might imagine. A beacon of hope in the shroud of sorrow, a desperate promise clung to in our darkest hours. It comforts us, prompts us to believe that this farewell is not an end but just an interlude until we meet those gone by once again. But the potency of these words, did you ever ponder upon it? Did you know that words, particularly those expressed during intense emotional turmoil, aren't just mere sounds? They carry a resonance, a vibration that reverberates in the unseen spiritual world. Every word we vocalize, every assurance we give transcends the mundane and resonates in the celestial realms. Each word is a product of thought, a manifestation of our intentions, and possesses the power to sculpt our reality in profound ways. And so when we say "until we meet again," we aren't merely hoping or wishing, we are making a powerful declaration. A proclamation that sends ripples of unseen spiritual energy, the ether. In the grand tapestry of existence, our words act like seeds sown into the fertile soils of reality. They germinate, they flourish, they shape the world around us. Just as a seed can grow into a fruitful tree or a harmful weed, our words harbor the potential to create or usher in destruction, to bless or to curse. So when we utter "until we meet again," what exactly are we invoking? Is it a prayer for reunion in the afterlife, or are we unknowingly chaining ourselves to perpetual grief and loss, a cycle that keeps us anchored to the past, hindering our healing and growth? And here is a thought to ponder. Could this phrase, this seemingly harmless expression of hope and longing, be an unsuspecting portal we open to unseen spiritual influences? Could this commonly spoken phrase actually be doing more harm than good? Let's delve deeper into how our words shape our spiritual and earthly realities in the next scene. In the Bible, there are numerous warnings about the power of words and how they can be used for good or evil. The book of Proverbs in particular is replete with such admonitions. It tells us that death and life are in the power of the tongue, a clear indication of the weight our words carry. But what does this have to do with the seemingly innocent phrase, "until we meet again"? Well, let's take a closer look. The Bible teaches us that there is a finality to physical death, a crossing over from this life to what lies beyond. It is a journey we all have to make, and it is one that we must make alone. When we say, "until we meet again" to those who have passed on, we are unwittingly suggesting a future meeting, a reunion in the physical sense. This, however, contradicts the biblical understanding of death as a one-way journey. In the book of Ecclesiastes it is written, "For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, and even their name is forgotten." This passage underscores the finality of death and the severance of earthly connections. Moreover, the Bible warns against attempts to communicate with the deceased, which could be interpreted as a form of necromancy, a practice condemned in Deuteronomy where it says, "There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjures spells, or a medium, or a spiritist, or one who calls up the dead." So while the phrase "until we meet again" might sound comforting, it is in fact contrary to the biblical principles of life, death, and what lies beyond. It could inadvertently lead us into territory that the Bible warns us to avoid. So what could be the harm in saying "until we meet again"? Scene script. Unbeknownst to many, "until we meet again" can have negative spiritual implications. This phrase, used so casually in farewells, carries with it a weight that many may not fully understand. Saying "until we meet again" to those we've lost can in fact have serious spiritual repercussions. It might sound like a comforting sentiment, a promise of reunion, but it's crucial to delve deeper into the implications of these words. When we say "until we meet again," we're expressing a desire to reconnect with those who have passed on. However, it's essential to remember that the spiritual realm operates differently from our physical world. This phrase, seemingly harmless, could potentially invite undesirable spiritual entities or experiences. It's a little like leaving your front door open. It may seem welcoming, but it also invites anyone and anything to walk right in. Saying "until we meet again" to departed souls might not just invite them, but other spiritual entities as well. This could lead to spiritual disturbances or even demonic influences. It's a dangerous game to play, especially when we're dealing with a realm that is beyond our understanding and control. Moreover, this phrase could also hinder the spiritual journey of the departed soul. The soul's journey after death is a sacred process, a journey of growth and evolution. When we express a desire to meet them again, we might unintentionally tether them to our realm, delaying their spiritual progress. The negative impact of this phrase isn't just confined to the spiritual realm, though. It can seep into our lives, affecting our mental and emotional well-being. The longing for reunion can prevent us from fully grieving and moving on, trapping us in a cycle of sorrow and longing. Therefore, it's crucial to be mindful of the words we use, especially when it comes to farewells. Words are powerful, and they can have a profound impact on our spiritual journey. Yet, the impact of this phrase does not stop at the spiritual level. The phrase, "until we meet again," could have a profound impact on our lives. This seemingly harmless farewell carries a substantial psychological weight, subtly influencing our mental and emotional health, relationships, and even our future interactions. Let's start with our mental health. When we say, "until we meet again," to someone who has passed away, we may unknowingly create a mental loop, a kind of psychological echo that keeps us stuck in the past, preventing us from moving forward. We become entangled in the cobwebs of what once was, rather than embracing the present and preparing for the future. This can lead to feelings of melancholy, regret, and even depression. Simultaneously, this phrase can strain our relationships with others. By holding on to the past and the departed, we may unintentionally distance ourselves from the living, creating a wall of emotional isolation. We may find it challenging to form new relationships or nurture existing ones because part of us remains anchored to a past that no longer exists. Moreover, "until we meet again" can foster a false sense of hope or expectation. Though it's natural to yearn for reunion with our loved ones, we must remember that life is a journey, and we cannot predict every twist and turn it takes. By fostering this unrealistic expectation, we may set ourselves up for disappointment and emotional distress. Lastly, consider the spiritual implications. As we've discussed earlier, expressions like "until we meet again" can have a darker side. They can open doors to negative spiritual influences that can disrupt our peace and harmony, leading to a turbulent emotional and spiritual journey. So we see that this simple phrase, often spoken in moments of grief and longing, can have far-reaching effects on our lives. These ripple effects can subtly shape our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and spiritual well-being, often in ways we hardly recognize. So, what can we do instead of saying "until we meet again"? There are healthier, more spiritually sound ways to say goodbye to our loved ones. This statement rings with truth and offers a beacon of hope as we navigate through the painful process of parting. The journey of life is punctuated by departures and arrivals, and it's essential that we are equipped with the right words and actions to navigate these transitions. When we say goodbye to someone, we are not just bidding farewell to their physical presence, but we are also acknowledging the spiritual connection that exists between us. So, how can we say goodbye in a way that respects this profound connection, yet also allows for healing and letting go? One approach is to use phrases that acknowledge the love and respect we hold for the departed without implying a future reunion. We could say, "May your journey be filled with light," or "I honor your spirit." These words are not only comforting but also reinforce the idea of acceptance and release. Another approach is to engage in actions that symbolize letting go. This could be as simple as releasing a balloon into the sky, or as complex as creating a beautiful piece of art in memory of the departed. These actions allow us to express our grief and love in a tangible way, while also emphasizing the importance of moving forward. But perhaps the most important aspect of a healthy goodbye is acknowledging our emotions and giving ourselves permission to heal. It's okay to feel sadness, anger, or confusion. These feelings are a natural part of the grieving process, yet it's also crucial to remind ourselves that healing is not only possible, but it's a necessary part of our spiritual journey. So as we navigate through the complex landscape of farewells, let's remember to choose our words and actions wisely. Let's honor our loved ones, acknowledge our feelings, and give ourselves the gift of healing. The next time you bid farewell to someone, remember the power of your words and choose them wisely.